Why did the Springfield XD never kill the Glock, and which pistol is better? No doubt the Glock has not been killed, and the Glock is alive and strong as ever. So why do people compare these two pistols? Well, both the Springfield XD and the Glock are quality pistols. What I want to talk about today is the differences between the two pistols and why I keep finding myself gravitating towards Glock over the XD. Guys, sound off in the comments about your reasons for preferring one versus the other. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's backtrack a little though and talk about why the two are often compared. The XD line was introduced as a service pistol. After all, it served the duty in Croatia for decades. It was an alternative to Glock for many people, and historically it has always been a little cheaper, blue label deals aside. They share many similarities. They both are rugged, durable pistols. They both have polymer frames. Their service pistol offerings come in at similar sizes and weights. They have similar striker-fired mechanics. Perhaps the biggest difference often mentioned is the XD grip angle. Some people love the XD solely because it has a similar grip angle to the 1911, so it largely depends on what you're used to shooting. So the two pistols are definitely not the same, but they're close enough in terms of their attributes and their primary use cases that they get compared quite frequently. Having years of experience as an owner and shooter of both brands, I have to say I prefer Glock's offering, and for this reason I've gone much further down the Glock road than the XD. Like I said, both are great, there's plenty to like with the XD, but there's 5 main reasons why I personally prefer Glock over Springfield. Reason 1, and probably the least important, the Glock pistols feel slightly tighter and smoother when shooting. Call me a Glock fanboy, but Glock has always shot very smoothly for me personally. I know people's mileage varies. Some people either love or hate Glock ergonomics, but personally I love them. The grip angle keeps the top bones in your hand parallel to those in your arms, allowing you to keep your trigger finger straight while getting high up on the grip frame. Reason 2, the takedown lever on the Springfield doesn't play well with an active grip style. I like to angle my support hand forward to grip as much of the top of the frame as possible. On the XD, it makes it a little harder to get a good purchase on the frame as it gets in the way of your support hand thumb. I would like the frame to actually be cut there instead of protruding. Some pistols that I own have this naturally, and in others yet, I'll stipple this. The takedown lever should have been placed on the right side of the pistol, in my opinion, since most people are right-handed shooters and not gripping the frame in this area. Reason 3, the aftermarket for Glock is huge. There's so many varieties of Glock compatible products on the market. The XD market is nothing to scoff at. It's better than the majority of pistols out there. But with Glock, you can customize literally anything about the pistol, which has a fun factor to it along with a practical factor. Suffice to say, the Glock platform has been the better platform for me to tailor for my competitive shooting needs. Reason 4, the XD is harder to work on. Both designs are simple, but the Glock is stupid simple to fully field strip and disassemble. The XD wasn't hard, it's easier than most pistols, but it wasn't as intuitive the first time. Another example is trying to change the sights on the XD. The tolerances are so dang tight. Even with a sight pusher, I wasn't able to do the job without special tools like a bench vise. Glock, on the other hand, changing the sights are a breeze. Reason 5, and the most important reason to me, the stock trigger on Glock has night and day better reset. This is my biggest grip with the XD. The trigger on the XD is okay. It has a clean wall and crisp break, nothing to complain about here. However, the reset is very, very long on the XD, and this is by far my largest complaint. You basically have to pull the trigger and then ride the reset almost the entire way back to the front of the trigger guard. As someone who is trained to ride the reset just far enough to break on a 2-stage trigger, the XD by comparison feels like an eternity between break and back to reset. This isn't something I've been able to really get used to, and it differs from every other pistol that I own. This makes shooting with the stock trigger very difficult on the XD versus a stock Glock trigger. But that said, there are some things that the XD does do better than Glock. So the first thing that I have to say that the XD does better is the rear striker engaged indicator is fantastic. Glock has the side chamber indicator, and while that's helpful, it's not helpful when the gun is holstered. The Springfield rear chamber indicator is a really nice safety feature. as you can visually see when holstered what condition the pistol is in. Thing 2. The factory sights are better on the Springfield XD versus Glock. The sights from the factory are much better on the XD, especially being that they are metal. The last thing that I think Springfield does better is some of the internals are definitely nicer on a Springfield. The Springfield recoil assembly is all metal from the factory. The feed ramp on mine in particular came polished, which is also a nice touch. Although these things are negligible because it's not like Glock suffers from any reliability issues. Both pistols are ultra reliable. Now the last thing that's a very controversial topic is the grip safety on the XD. I'd be remiss not to mention it. The grip safety works well. I've never had a problem with it not engaging, and I've never had to think about it. That said, it doesn't add very much to the safety of the weapon. With the dawn of Kydex, I really don't see any advantage to the grip safety. Neither pistol gives me any anxiety whatsoever about PVC with one in the pipe. In the end, I really do like the XD, but it doesn't do anything better that it would kill Glock for me personally. I like the XD a lot, and I give it a lot of respect that it's due, but I still prefer Glocks for the reasons that I stated, subjective as they are. At the end of the day, if you're on the fence between the two, I'd suggest finding a range that will let you rent both guns and see which one you prefer. That's it for now, friends. As always, train often, be safe.